Day 21.
Still sober.
It's those mornings when it was super cold last week. Very refreshing to be sober.
Yeah, life wants you to drink.
Yes, life really wants us to drink. Speaking of life wanting us to drink, some good news on the wedding front.
Got my pants done up. Now, buttons holding. Holding tight.
But at least they're on this time.
Think
You've made progress towards it. It's awesome.
I have. We're talking millimeters of progress, but
It's progress.
you know the scene from Spider-Man?
Yeah.
And he's holding the train?
Yeah.
It's my button.
It's little Spider-Man in the pants just...
If I breathe in too hard,
So technically you carry a concealed weapon there.
technically,
But go off at any time.
I'll keep on keeping on.
Water's helping.
Water's helping. No beer is helping. We'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see. Well, what do we got to talk about?
Oh, we got the divisional round, the NFL, wrapped up. Sorry, conference round.
Conference championship games. Titans dream run finally ends.
96 yards for Henry. Couldn't even crack 100.
I mean, basically that's the key to victory when you play the Titans is keep Derrick Henry.
Yeah, the Chiefs
In
knew what
check.
they had to do to shut him down.
It was, I guess you could say, a slow start again for the Chiefs. They,
I don't know if it's them waiting and reading what the other team's doing and then just... or what, but I think as good of a coach as Andy Reid is, if the slow starts continue like that, they're next year. I don't think his job's anywhere in jeopardy this year, especially making it to the Super Bowl. But I mean, if your slow starts are continuing,
you think it's a thing?
I think internally you look at some of the offensive coordinators, you look at some of that to kind of maybe bump up the offense starting right out the gate so you're not always coming from behind. Like, as fun as that is for the fans, when you got fans walking out of the arena saying, I'm walking out because I want my team to win, and then they win, like,
You had
it's stressful. It's like being a Flames
to
fan.
almost threw a, that's what she said, or
Yeah.
joking there. Like, for sure, don't use coming from behind ever again. For sure. Moving on, maturity. level.
Every time I hear that, I think about that Parks and Rec outtake.
Parks and Recs?
Yeah, you ever see that show?
I watched it. I didn't see the outtake.
Oh my god, there was one out
Oh!
about the great comeback stories.
Yeah.
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 That's
I gotcha. That is funny. I wish I could remember the exact line.
They were talking about people who had great comebacks, and Chris Pratt just said Kim Kardashian, and they're like, "Well, yeah." Everyone looked kind of confused. He's like, "I think you got a little bit on your back there," and then everyone just loses it.
Oh, man. But, we're off topic. Chiefs are good.
Chiefs look really good. Go Chiefs.
Yeah. 49ers beat the Packers quite easily.
We knew that was going to happen. Not saying that we didn't believe in our Seahawks, but we were basically playing with a practice roster team, and we almost edged out the Packers.
Yeah, we made a good comeback. I mean, we gave it a go anyways. Yeah, 49ers.
Woo.
Fourth quarter started. Garoppolo had 6 passing attempts. So, I wonder what their game plan is. God damn it.
Yeah.
They don't need to throw the ball.
They didn't have to. If your run game is successful, why would you put it up in the air?
Yeah, they had a couple of good... What's his name? Moster? He was a practice roster guy. He
Yeah.
almost got cut. Yeah.
It just shows you the level of talent even on the practice.
Well, that's what always happens.
Yeah.
But probably a decent segue. All these practice roster players can find a new home real soon.
That is true.
XFL, February 8th. Probably smart not to try and compete with the NFL schedule, I would
Yep.
say.
It's taken over the old position of the failed springtime football league of last year that failed halfway through.
What was the one that failed before they even got a game? That was just recent too, right?
There was another, I don't remember which one that one was, but the XFL looks like they're starting out pretty strong. They've got some teams, good ownership groups.
Yeah, 8 teams, full schedule. Seems like every game is televised, so
Thank God for football.
well,
We'll watch it to see how it goes
we
here.
need something to talk about.
We're gonna have to choose a team to cheer for.
So, I literally was having this conversation with myself on the way over here.
Choosing a team to cheer for?
You watch every game for the first week. You watch all 8 games, and whatever team, like it's got to be natural.
Whichever team you like, or do you want to do it based off of logos?
Do you want to pick logos right now?
Well, we've seen the logos right here, and I'll say this again. For those of you that ever played NHL 2015, the Dallas Renegades logo looks exactly like an NHL 2015 hockey logo that I made one of my teams.
Oh yeah, because they always add in
the fun little logos.
Yeah, and
Same with the Battlehawks. Also, I don't know if I can cheer for a team called the Battlehawks.
I'm not sure about that either. But if you sim forward, they always add in. I'm pretty sure that's the exact.
That's
logo.
the exact logo.
Yeah.
Trust.
Here you go. I'll pick the winner of this year's whole thing from these logos.
Well, for those people that don't know who it is, there's 8 teams, and what are the teams here?
We've got the Dallas Renegades, Houston Roughnecks, LA Wildcats. Is that New York? Holy shit, that writing's small. New York Guardians.
Yeah.
St. Louis Battlehawks, Seattle Dragons, Tampa Bay Vipers,
And DC Defenders.
DC Defenders. I don't think I can get this big enough to get on the camera.
No, we'll have to. I don't know if that's going to look good.
It
But,
probably won't, but
Those are the logos we're looking at here.
so right off the bat, I'm just going to go ahead and say that, just probably being an idiot, the Seattle Dragons are clearly going to beat the New York Guardians and win the XFL trophy thing that I don't know the name of.
The XFL Cup.
XFL Cup.
I have no idea what it is either, but we'll call it the XFL Cup.
I mean,
Is that what we're doing? We're going Seattle Dragons? What's that?
Seattle Dragons beat the New York Guardians. First ever XFL Cup. I mean, if you see those logos, that's obvious.
Yeah. So I'm not going to cheer for the LA Wildcats. I'm not a huge fan of that logo. Same with Dallas Renegades and St. Louis Battlehawks. If you're going to make a logo, don't use NHL 15. DC Defenders. Ooh, great name for an offensive team.
In an offensive league.
Yeah, offensively minded league, and that's a great name. The Tampa Bay Vipers.
You like that V? I kind of like
Looks
it.
a little dirty.
I kind of like it. I got to see the jerseys.
Yeah,
With colors like that, they could have sick jerseys.
and the Houston Roughnecks. So we've got it down to 3.
Well, I guess probably our podcast the week of will dig into rule differences and. Okay, well that's super disappointing on all fronts.
Yeah, the jerseys are.
Color rush. They're literally color rush jerseys.
This is what the Dragons 1 uniform looks like.
Wow, super cool.
Oh yeah, yeah. You guys can look all this stuff up yourselves. I mean, it's not. This is the other Dragons uniform. I mean, they're very, very similar to what you'd normally expect on a Thursday night in the NFL.
I will say you showed me that rules video before we started the podcast.
I linked that on our Twitter as well.
They've got me that much interested. I will watch week 1. I do want to see. I do want to see how it goes. And again, the week before we'll make some predictions or go over the rules. We'll do something, but they've got me. They've got me a little bit. I hope it works out. It's not competing. It's not going to come down to watching NFL or there's an XFL game at the same time.
No.
It's over. So
yeah,
we'll see.
So for kickoffs, the kickoff team will line up on the opposing team's 35. The receiving team will line up on their 30. So they're 5 yards apart. The only two players that are allowed to move are the kicker and the receiver. Once the kicker has kicked it and the receiver has caught it, or the ball hits the ground for more than 3 seconds, the remaining players are allowed to move. This causes a greater chance for run back and a less high speed velocity of collisions, being only 5 yards apart. What are your thoughts on the kickoff?
Holding penalties.
It just looks like a straight up hold.
Those players, they're going to, like, when they come together, it's like offensive and defensive linemen only on a kick. It's going to be holding penalties. You can also have a dominant player who can break through immediately, and it's going to be a lot of one-on-ones with the returner.
You're going to have, I think, a lot of false start penalties of people jumping early when they don't know if the ball's been caught, thinking the ball's been caught, not knowing the time on the ground.
Yeah, how do they know the 3 seconds? Is there a whistle?
I'm thinking as soon as the ball hits the ground, if the ball hits the ground, is kind of it. Because it goes 1, 2, 3, like, it's pretty well hit the ground or caught.
We'll see. We'll see.
There's potential for that, but yeah, you can see where they're trying to get a bit more of an explosive start to the games.
That's why they've got me hooked.
Yeah.
A little bit. But we'll see.
One of the less lackluster things is the 2 forward passes allowed per play.
See,
you're allowed to throw 1 forward pass before the line of scrimmage and then a 2nd forward pass beyond that. In the NFL, it has to be a lateral or you're thrown behind.
yeah, I'm not buying that one. You got to think. When you throw it back, that guy has a defender. Whether it's zone or it's man, someone's queuing in on that right away and they're rushing them. That's why you usually get a guy open, right? You're sucking in a defender. Throwing it backwards gains you that space. How far back is your quarterback going to drop? You still have to be behind the line of scrimmage. It doesn't matter. So he takes a 15-yard step back, throw it forward to a guy to throw another one, unless it's a little like grab it and hook, like a hook and ladder. I think he has less time.
I think for a design play like that, for sure. I was looking, and you look at these playoff games where the quarterbacks are rushing back, getting sacked 10, 15 yards back, or having to throw the ball away. Imagine if, you got all these linebackers on you, you got this huge middle area where you're like, well, it'll be a waste of a pass to dish off to this guy. But you dish it off 5 yards ahead of you, suddenly this guy is sitting there and can then, no one on him, and throw that long ball at someone else. I think in scramble plays, it's going to play a lot more than a set play.
Scramble plays for sure. I think the set play, still be a trick play. They'll still end up. I guess you don't have to worry about throwing it directly across, forward or back. Some of the NFL throws are close, borderline, and they got a review. But I don't know. We'll see. It's got to definitely be a scramble, or there's no room to throw it that far forward.
No. For punts, if you punt it into the end zone, the other team gets it on the 35-yard line. If you punt it out of bounds, the other team gets it at the 35-yard line or wherever it goes out of bounds, whichever is more advantageous for that team. So there's no more pinning them on the 1-yard line by kicking it out of bounds to the 1 yard. If you want to pin them there, you got to hit it, backspin, and get there. It's the kicking team's players are not allowed to move until the ball has been kicked. So there's another rule. Previously, as soon as the ball snapped, they can move. There's now a couple-second delay, which will give more time for the receiver to grab it and run.
Basically, they want offense.
Yeah, they're trying to remove the fair catch, the taking the knee.
That's their gimmick. They want offense. So,
speaking of offense, they are getting rid of field goals after the touchdown. There's now 3 options. You get a 1-point play from the 2-yard line, a 2-point play from the 5-yard line, or a 3-point play from the 10-yard line. You only get one chance.
9-point touchdowns.
9-point touchdowns. If the defense intercepts it, they can go back for those points. So you could get the kickoff, go down, score 6 points right off the kickoff, go to throw that 9-0 lead, and immediately throw it, and now it's 6-3 off 2 plays in the game.
There's vodka in this bottle.
I know. And the other news is overtime is now going to be more shootout style similar to the NHL. Each team's going to get 5 attempts from the 10-yard line. If they're still tied after those 5 attempts, each attempt's worth 2 points. I don't know why it needs to be 2. Why can't it be 1? Whatever. It'll go to alternating to see who gets it. No coin toss, no nothing. Each team gets a chance. No ties. No more all-star quarterback sitting on the bench watching on as his defense can't stop the other team.
Which is good.
Which is really good.
Yeah, you should always get a chance. Yeah, we'll see. I'm interested.
Could be cool.
Could be cool. Watch it anyways, because
Yeah.
everything else is over.
Well, retirement news out of the NFL that broke about 5 minutes after we finished recording our last video.
5 minutes is even maybe pushing it. I got up from my chair. I walked 2 seconds away to the couch, and you went, shit. So,
Big surprise to everyone, though, in the NFL community.
yeah, Luke Kuechly retired from the Carolina Panthers.
Was it 9 seasons in the NFL, 8 Pro Bowls, going to this Pro Bowl, phenomenal player.
Led the league in tackles a couple of years, just dominant.
He has had some pretty major concussions throughout his career. He's had 3 diagnosed serious concussions, so you think that that's probably got to play a factor in it. He's a young guy. I think he's about range 28 to 30 years old there. He's made a lot of good money. Hopefully he's, I believe he's got a business degree as well, so
I'm sure he's got something else
he's
lined
got
up.
some of that tied up there. But you know what? As we said before, it's always good to retire on your own terms and not kind of
Well,
have an injury force you out.
yeah, no injury. Hopefully he's healthy. Hopefully the concussions aren't super serious. You hate seeing those guys that are punch drunk. I don't know what else to say, right?
Yeah.
Like when they're dealing with that, when they play too long. So good for him.
Yeah,
On
100%.
to
Greener
just-
pastures.
just different. I guess good for him.
He's showing up in the XFL.
Nope.
This just in, Luke Kuechly to XFL confirmed.
Well, that'll break 2 minutes after we shut this podcast up.
But
We'll
you
talk
heard
about
it
next
here
week.
first.
Yeah.
Antonio Brown's agent has severed ties for now.
2020, no white women.
Antonio Brown is also being investigated and charged in some form of a battery case right now.
2020, no white women.
So,
Hashtag.
moving on.
Seems like the video skipped a little bit there, and there is an explanation. What do you think, Dallas?
So, Jason Garrett.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's funny when you click the wrong thing. Luckily, we caught it and we didn't talk for 10 minutes. But here we are.
Same shitty quality, same shitty setup. We're moving on. Jason Garrett is now the offensive coordinator of the Giants.
Yay.
Based off of the Dallas Cowboys offense, I don't see how that's an improvement. Larry Fitzgerald is returning.
He's still playing.
He's still going. Holy fuck.
Still doing the thing.
Doesn't look absolutely horrible.
Did he not lead them in receiving yards?
Tell me one other receiver on that team.
Kirk. Kirk something. Something Kirk.
Anyways,
I only know that because I got drafted by the Cardinals in Be a Pro one night. So
he tried to be a pro now.
oh no, this was a while ago.
Oh,
He's
okay.
probably not even on their team, but
He's retired now.
Kirk was my boy.
Oh man. And another coaching shuffle in the NHL. Vegas has fired their coach, Gerard Gallant.
Seems strange. They
They
were
picked up Peter DeBoer.
second place in the conference, right?
You take an expansion team to the Stanley Cup final, to the playoffs for 2 rounds, I think, at the playoffs last year.
Lost in Game 7 in overtime, I'm pretty sure. So
Off of a bad face-off, no penalty,
Oh.
or a bad face-off penalty call.
yeah, but for sure don't let the other team score 4 goals.
No. I think staff wanted Peter DeBoer.
You think he just was available and they said, "Oh, okay, well let's go get our guy."
Unless there's something that they're not telling us about Gerard Glant. And it's
Well, it's one of those things. I read a post that said there's more coaches fired to start this season than wins that the Detroit Red Wings had in a month or something, or in a 2-month span.
yeah.
I can't remember the exact dates, but it's just another one. It's crazy. Like you're slipping a little bit. Someone else will come in. Especially the more coaches get fired, there's more coaches out there.
Which I think is a good thing for the sport, because the era of the tenured coach that you go into a city, you know this is how you're playing, and you know you have to conform to his style. You got to more so bend to the player's style. This isn't a coach team. This is a talent team.
Well, you see it in the NHL and the NFL. Teams are looking less towards the old guy who's been doing it forever, more to young guys coming up, leaning more on, even for general managers, on the advanced stats, and like having people who could read the advanced stats, statisticians and shit like that in the organization.
Building your team around the players, not around the coach.
And you see it, I mean, look at the 49ers head coach.
Yep.
Andy Reid's been doing it forever, but I think he's adapted. He's not stuck in his old school ways, right? Yep. So it's either you're going to adapt to the new way of things, or you're going to be gone.
Look what they did for Lamar Jackson. They built that team around a player, not around a coaching style.
Yeah. Well, I don't think he could play any other way. And obviously it worked for them.
Unless you're playing the Titans.
Yeah.
But
no. So I don't know. I hate to see anyone lose their job, but I think you'll see more and more as time goes on.
Well, as you know, the NHL trade deadline's coming up. Flames have some cap space. Ilya Kovalchuk has now put his name into the top 5 trade targets based on his play with Montreal.
Please no.
I don't see us picking him up. But as a Flames fan,
please no.
What do you think we need to do? Top 6 winger?
Not that.
No, not that. No, that was just a neat tidbit. But I think top 6 winger for sure. We need some more scoring.
Yeah, I think we do. They're throwing around a couple names, but I think a top 6 winger. I wouldn't want to screw around with our defense too much right now. I like a bunch of the pieces. Yeah,
you know we're losing 2 as unrestricted free agents. I think Brody's unrestricted and Hamonick's restricted at the end of the year. I believe is how it goes.
Brody can
go. I think his contract's going to be done, but if we could move him at the deadline to kind of get something in return for that piece, that would be nice.
Well, yeah, it's better than letting them walk free. 100%. Like, if we're not going to re-sign Hamonick, if they don't have that in the plans, and I'm sure they've already talked about it, and Brody's not going to be re-signed, you have to try and get something for them at this trade deadline. 100%. Whether it's a pick, like even if you can't make a blockbuster trade or a rental or anything like that,
pick something,
do something
so you don't lose the player completely.
We've got rid of a lot of our first-round picks in the last little bit to get the team to where it is now.
Yeah.
So what would be so terrible about collecting a couple? If that's what it comes down to, if you can go out and get a top 6 forward in this...
I think we can get a top 6 forward. I don't think we can get a first-round pick for any of our pieces that we're willing to move.
No.
I don't think we can get a second-round pick for any of the pieces
Let's trade Goudreau.
I don't know if the value is there for Goudreau right now.
Someone would give us a first for Goudreau.
No, they wouldn't. Not right now.
Come on. Just based off his coming into this year, I think we'd get a first for Goudreau. It's kind
of one of those "what have you done for me lately" type situations.
Yeah, I don't think they would get rid of him anyways. Don't think that's an option, but we'll see. I think that's where we're at.
So if you look at the Flames defense, they've got Anderson that signed another long-term contract. Very team friendly.
I like Anderson.
Yeah. You've got Gio, who is signed for another couple of years. for sure. You've got Hannafin, who signed for another couple of years.
Yep.
You've got Valimaki, who signed for another couple of years. So you've got 4 defensemen right there. You got Shillington.
If he could ever play. It's just so unlucky with injuries.
That is true, yes.
Right? Like, we keep hearing about this guy, but have we seen a game? So, top 6 forward for sure, but do not get Kovalchuk.
No, but moving pieces out, you're looking to Brody, you're looking at that Hamonic body moving. You're the biggest name thrown around on the forward end is Jankowski. No one's going to want him, but at least you could toss him in there.
Bennett.
That name's been thrown around, but we did just sign him to a 2-year contract extension, so maybe that's advantageous for other teams, a cheap 2-year
Well,
bottom 6 forward.
I mean, we had to sign him to something, because that, again, would be pretty crappy to just let him go for nothing.
Especially being as he is the Flames' highest draft pick ever.
And in the playoffs, he does show up. So
More than anyone else did. He does play a good, hard style of hockey. I think he's been underutilized on the 4th line, but he is looking good with the guys he's playing with.
he has flashes of brilliance. It's
Yeah.
just it's not consistent. So
It's really hard, as I said before, to get consistency when you're constantly playing with different people. Lindholm said to the coach there, he's like, if you want me to play center, I'll play center. If you want me to play wing, I'll play wing. Just give me at least 8 to 10 games in that position so I can show you what I can do in that position, because I can't do it in one game. Like, it's a hard transition. It's totally different position. You're playing with totally different people. You want some semblance of a routine in who you're playing with, then you can learn where they're going and how to pass to them.
you definitely, switching positions like that, give a couple games to get up to the positioning. It's just completely different. You've got to give them a couple games to get up to speed.
100%.
So, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
ODR time?
Let's go.
All right. See you guys next week.